started in Gene's basement, two of us, um, working on a pool table doing red lines, doing our own CAD on using AutoCAD LT. And we've come to where we are today. And it, I think it worked because we were able to maintain an open mind and have what I call a family relationship with everybody.
I don't know if I had a dream job, but I always liked asking questions, and to almost to my to adults' annoyances. My parents uh, were very encouraging, and they actually were telling me, you'd make a good engineer. And at the time, I didn't really even know what that was. If I see a symptom, I want to see what the fundamental reason for that challenge, failure, the situation is. So that's how I've always gone about problem solving when I was young, and it kind of served me well in my career as well.
I mean, I remember way back there'd be times where there might not have been enough work to do, and they'd hand me a rake, and I'd go out and do a little lawn maintenance, instead of drafting. But I think the biggest thing was, obviously I was pretty young, and it was learning from all the mid-level to senior folks that I was surrounded with. I mean, I just soaked that stuff up, and it was a fire hose in your face worth of on the job training.
When I first started at Steen, there weren't enough cubicles for everybody. So I was literally in this tiny little conference room, and which was right off of Steve's office, and then it was Gene's office, and then Terry's office. And I'm in there, a newbie, going, not even really confident of what the heck I was doing, even though Steve was, doing a great job teaching. But I would hear the repartee that would go between Steve and Gene, and then Mark would, and I was going, what the hell am I getting into? Because I was, but yet on the other hand, there were also conversations that I would hear and going, yeah, I like this place. I had good vibes about that. Yeah, there was a trust factor. No matter whoever had an idea, a thought, or an argument or a disagreement. Everybody's disagreements were, they weren't poo-pooed or tossed off to the side, or there's a lot of give and take.
They never belittled you for not knowing something. They were eager to teach you, and that was fantastic. And I think it really helped us bond too. I mean, I became friends with a lot of people. We'd go to happy hour, we'd go to the state fair together, we'd, go see shows, whatever. And so yeah, it's just a lot of fun memories with good friends.
It's a sense of pride, knowing that we helped pull a building together and did it well. Some of the ones probably are more interesting are the ones that are well lit, because you see that. You could drive by a building and see how it's lit and go, yeah, that's pretty cool. Or a church that has a cross highlighted with floodlights, which we had one that we ended up backlighting with LEDs, which looked really cool. So there's always a piece here and a piece there, and you drive by and look at that and you sort of smirk and say, yeah, I did that. Or you see another one go, yeah, staff did a dang good job on that one. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really good. Go back to work. I'm going to give them a kudos. Yeah, I drove by this project. Look at that. So, that turned out really well.
After I had been to Steen for a little while, Steve Youngs, who was at that time was the signing electrical engineer, he took me under his wing because I had been removed from the electrical design industry for a period of about 6 years. And my previous experience was mostly commercial, and Steen's repertoire types of businesses that we would design for was primarily almost residential, multifamily and things like that. And I knew absolutely nothing about that part of the business. And Steve said, don't worry, we've got checklists.
We have, Steen has a way of approaching design, not only from listening to you in the beginning and how we do design, but also how we do quality control, checklists.
Literally, the mantra for our checklists are that we live or die by our checklists. Fortunately or unfortunately, we've had folks that have designed a project that they didn't leverage our checklists. And lo and behold, they become problems. And my first question was, did you use our checklist?
We have a process that we involve at Steen that not only listens to you, but makes sure that we have quality control, and that you get a product. If you're coming back to us again and again, the product itself is going to be consistent and high quality.
I think we approach the problem solving on something that's that complex by kind of taking a step back and looking at it holistically. You know, getting our arms around the whole thing instead of just looking at individual parts of it that they might be struggling with. Even on jobs that aren't as complex as that, I think that's a good way to look at the overall picture. When you're looking at the whole thing, it has a tendency to be a more robust and long-lasting improvement.
I can thank our founder, Gene Streifel, for his knack of being pragmatic and attacking a problem from a very practical standpoint. He always had a contractor hat on, so he always viewed things from an economic perspective. There's always a risk of over-engineering and making something more complicated than it needs to be. And if you emphasize what might that cost, is there another way to do this that's perhaps more cost-effective, that isn't reinventing the wheel, but maybe improving upon what's already in place?
My vision for the next 20 to 30 years of Steen is, you know, I want to see us expanding into other markets, other areas of expertise, continuing to have a robust presence in the areas that we currently serve. I would love to reconnect with clients we haven't worked with as much, meet, you know, a ton of new clientele. I would love to have our office full of people. We got a lot of room for growth right now, and I'm really excited to start filling those workstations with new people, new personalities, new capabilities. You know, and I think, you know, that's our biggest asset is our people, and having a good, solid crew that brings a lot of diversity in their backgrounds, in their personalities, and in their expertise, I think is going to lead to our success moving forward. And I think it'll, again, build a very strong culture.